Hey guys, welcome to the Gotham After Show on the Stream.tv. Tonight's episode of Gotham was maniacal, so let's get right down to business and talk about it. I'm Tatiana Hollander with the Flash Podcast, and I'm here with
Ryan Buds. I am going to be hosting this show on Mondays, and Tuesday nights I'll be doing the Flash After Show. And Thursdays we're starting a brand new trivia show called the DC Marvel Trivia Mashup, hosted by me, Ryan Buds. So I'm very excited about being on the team this week. Stream TV.
Yeah, you're gonna be all up on the stream.
And I'm Sabina Ibarra, just here with the Gotham show, hanging out. Everyone has exciting things. So I think I might be guesting on the trivia show, which I'm really excited about.
I'm going to stump you.
Oh, man,
I'm already wearing my purple shirt in honor of Jerome tonight, everybody.
Yes.
And I'm wearing my black jacket in honor of Selena Kyle, in case you couldn't notice.
Most of my closet is actually blues, grays, blacks, and Batman-y colors anyway, so I am Batman.
I pretty much have all the shirts that Target sells, if anyone's ever wondering about my wardrobe.
Oh my gosh,
all right.
Target shirts are the best.
The back of my
Classiest.
neck just says Mossimo, which is an old Native American word that means cheap and
all
white.
right, maniacs, settle down. Let's talk about the episode. Starting with, of course, the return of Jerome Valeska, or is it?
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, what did we think about this storyline? How,
God.
you know?
The build-up for it was pretty intense. It was really cool to see Dwight the Mortician back. Oh my gosh. With him stealing the Jerome-sicle.
Yeah.
And doing a Frankenstein on him, which, you know, I thought was pretty interesting because it seemed kind of thrown together. We were kind of trying to decide whether or not he was stealing parts of Hugo Strange's equipment.
Yes.
Or, you know, it just seemed pretty much like a Frankenstein sort of setup. And I was like, you know what? I'll allow it. Okay.
Before we started, you said hashtag Frankenstein fail, which I think was perfect. It was like he was trying to, but not really.
I definitely preferred seeing him try and fail than I would have preferred an actual explanation of what he was doing.
Yeah, yeah,
now
yeah.
we're doing like 50, 100 voltage something, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting that most of the episode was really about Dwight and how, you know, he was trying to become Jerome, right?
Yeah.
So.
And how quickly the maniacs were okay with that, which was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
these people will follow anything that's even Joker related in any way.
Yeah, like at first I definitely thought they were gonna start chanting "Not Jerome." I was like, they're saying "Not Jerome," right? But no, they're like, "I'm Jerome." I totally agree with you.
I thought it was so great though. He like got the idea to steal the face, and then that was done for him to save face.
Yeah.
And he just shows up, and
He literally saved face.
He literally saved face.
He had to steal face to save face.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Good point. Good point.
Good point. The other thing that I really loved, or hated really about it, was first, okay, so Dwight steals or kills people to get onto the news network, right, Channel 9. And then Jerome, I guess they just gave him access to see if they could find him.
Yeah.
That's what they said, something like that. And I was like, this is literally why the media should be more responsible.
Sure.
Let it be a lesson to you. Hopefully that was done on purpose. Like, people are gonna just believe lies that are told to them.
Yeah.
So you can't show them all the lies. Because some people will just run with it.
Yeah.
Alternative facts.
Exactly.
It's peeled off the headlines of today's newspaper.
Yeah, so that was really timely, Gotham. Thank you for that.
Well done, Gotham.
Yeah.
Well done.
Just like Harvey's disbelief that people were actually listening to Dwight and Jerome.
Or just that moment where he was like, you can't have that many of them all together.
It's just 50, right?
It's just like 50 of them. No, it's...
Yeah.
But 50
It's a
quickly
growing
becomes
movement.
100, and that quickly becomes much more.
And that's how we have a president that used to host a reality show.
Yeah. There you go. Now we've all learned our lesson.
Oh, man.
Anything else that you guys wanted to bring up about Jerome before we...
I love that he had to staple his face back on. I thought that was a fun little piece of plastic surgery greatness that he had to do.
Yeah, the body horror this episode. It wasn't even like that much of it, but like just like the 2 or 3 moments of having to watch.
Well, it was definitely like a throwback to, you know, homage to the New 52, Death of the Family Joker. But then there were so many moments where Jerome just, like, tip of the hat to all the Jokers before him with, you know, like he had the bandages on and he says boo, like Nicholson. My favorite thing that, I don't know if you caught, he was whistling Jingle Bells, which I was just like, this is so great, because that's the homage to animated series. So.
I'm actually tone deaf. So I definitely did not catch it. But thank you for letting me know.
I didn't catch it either, but I love, like, they just came out with that Batman the Animated Series Christmas Joker in the red sweater, which I was dying to get my hands on. They're like $35 sometimes for those figures, but I mean, like, such a timely release of that figure and a little reference to make on this show. Very cool.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, okay, so I shouldn't say that Jerome was endearing, but he was a little bit endearing this episode. Like, especially when he was going through who he could kill next, right? Like, when he first, like, woke up, I guess. And he was like, okay, I think it's time. I think I've got to go and kill, Theodore Gallivant? And then and Lee was like, no, sorry, he's dead. And then he was like, well, who killed him? Who beat me? And she's like, which time? He's like, what? He also beat me and coming back to life?
Yeah.
I felt kind of bad for him.
It was fun for him to play catch up and watch him play catch up.
And he was so devastated when he realized that Jim and Lee weren't together. He's like, I shipped you guys. Like, why?
I love this, especially some great quotes from him this episode. Just some highlights. Hi, some of you know I died. I love that he just opened that. Some of you know I died. Take it from me, death is dull. Coming back, that is something. Leave it to dying to give you a whole new perspective on life. I thought that was cool. Another quote that stood out to me towards the end of his little rant into the camera. Tonight, there are no rules. Tonight, Gotham, do what you want, kill who you want, and tomorrow, like me, you will be reborn.
That was literally like the Purge. Like,
Yeah,
that's what the whole time I was like, oh God. It's
And
the Purge
in reference
4.
also, did you see Trump used a Purge tagline in his speech?
Oh my God.
And a Bane? He used a Bane
I caught the Bane
thing.
one.
This all comes back to Gotham, guys. All comes
Trump's
back.
favorite show has to be Gotham. There's too many.
He's getting too many ideas. But hopefully he'll crumble pot.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
Yes.
And he just, I mean, like, honestly, this episode with Penguin, he kind of was all over the place. Like, he totally missed out on everything that went down with Jerome.
Yeah.
Because he was so preoccupied for his best friend, Nigma, who's disappeared.
Both he and Bruce kind of missed out, and they are characters that would normally be involved. So I think that this two-parter is going to be, the second part, I mean, is going to have them involved. And I actually want to say, like, I can't remember right now who wrote this episode, because it is this part and next week's are written and directed by the same person. But they were both on point. Like, they did great work. This is probably, I would say, the strongest as a whole episode of Gotham so far this season.
And next week is already the winter finale. As they're advertising it. So.
Oh, Louis Millite and Seth Boston are their names.
Shout out to Louis and Seth. Also, shout out to the actor that plays Dwight, who favorited some of our tweets about him from last week's episode.
Very cool, Dwight.
Very neat.
But yes, so moving on from Jerome, veering slightly to the left with Lee. We had her kind of push back a little bit more against Jim this week. So how did you feel? How do you guys feel about her growth or development, if you will?
She's doing a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, still mad. Still pretty pissed off.
I agree with you about the back and forth. I was thinking like,
because we were so on board with her, like going bad earlier, like when she thought that he just straight up murdered her husband. But then she was kind of like sold on like, okay, you know, there's some craziness happening, I believe you. But then now this episode, she's back to being like, actually, I hate you. And if you find Dwight, make him bring back Mario. Like, okay.
I think you said it, Tatiana. You said she's still basically shitting all over Jim.
Right.
So much shade.
Yeah, I mean, and it's understandable, like, that she would have these mood swings. And I really liked that she pointed out, like, you don't get to tell me not to go dark when that's literally all you do all day long. All you guys do is break the rules. But the second that I do something different,
and that's for like the scene where
world.
she injected the mole cop with the serum, who was laughing like crazy, and I was just like, everyone's just inhaled laughing gas. All the maniacs are just like,
oh yeah.
And
or
that's
go
also
to like a week-long training session of just like how to laugh like that, because not everyone has that in them.
Right.
But all these followers did.
Yeah.
It's like learning to vape. You just really have to do it for a week straight, I think.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Lee will ever forgive Jim, and like how soon will that happen, or will it take a long time?
I hope it takes a long time.
Yeah.
I just think that that's what's believable, right? Like,
exactly.
Even if it had been totally a normal situation and it hadn't looked like, you know, you could have just shot his leg instead of his heart.
Yeah.
That's still the man.
There are different appendages that could have been.
Oh, yeah.
But that's still the man that killed the man you love. Even if it had been totally, like a totally normal situation.
She never got to see him turn, you know, against her to know that Jim might have been a little bit validated in his actions.
So like she had to learn from who he was missed. I just realized we didn't get to see the ex-Captain Barnes this week. But she learned from him last week that there was no cure and it was never going to get better. And he probably would have killed her. But it's still something hard to wrap your head around. Especially when Jim, like, is still sort of on his, like, high and mighty horse.
Exactly.
Like, the very next week. You know, like, nothing's different for anyone else but her. So
Right.
I feel her. But like you said, I hope that we get to see her continue to go dark a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, like, become evil. But I'd like to see her play with the rules a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because everyone has more fun in Gotham when they do that.
Of course. That's why we all watch the show. I
Yeah.
think.
We don't watch it to see people follow the rules.
Mad City. That's right.
I also really liked her interactions with Jerome. I thought that they had a really great interplay that I guess I didn't really remember, you know, like the first time he kidnapped her, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing how she kept her cool with him. It was definitely
She held her ground.
Yeah.
And that was really refreshing.
and it felt different from how she was even when the Mad Hatter had both her and Valerie. She was much
She
more.
gives zero fucks now.
Yeah.
She's just like, she's
Yes.
like, this is what's happening. Fuck
Right.
Jim.
No, exactly.
Totally,
It's like
yeah.
everything has gone to shit in her life.
her, yeah.
So like,
Yeah, yeah.
what's the
Just
point,
like-
right?
What does she have left? Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
as long as she has her balls, right? I guess, you know? But yeah, it was, and I also kind of love how all the villains sort of respect her, you know?
Yeah.
It just seems sort of, I don't know what it is about her, but like obviously Carmine is like, oh, you're my new daughter.
Yeah.
And now we've got Jerome who's like, I just ship you and Jim so much.
Yeah.
Let me just not touch a hair on your head while I go off to kill Dwight or whatever.
She is on a pedestal amongst
Yeah.
the villains, which
Yeah.
is fun to watch. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess makes sense because Jim is a little bit too.
Yeah.
And she's, even when she's not with Jim, she's still Jim's lady.
I guess let's talk about a female character who had like a little less power this episode. I guess I think you would call her depowered based
Okay.
on her storyline. Selina and Bruce.
My
I kind of
Baby.
disagree.
You think she had some power?
Because
still?
she had the power in that she was onto her mother.
That's true. I
And
guess,
then
yeah.
she knew that something was up with like the people that loved her. They were kind of using her. In
Yeah,
a
but I
way.
guess she felt like she had agency,
Yes,
Yeah.
she totally
but
had
she
agency.
felt powerless.
Yes.
There we go. Something like that.
ultimately screwed by
Yeah.
by her mom
By
being
her mom.
in on the guy roughing her up at the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
find out the whole reason she's back is to extort Bruce.
Because he's her sugar baddie.
Sugar daddy.
Sweet sugar baddie.
Hashtag sugar
baddie.
daddy.
Yes, hashtag sugar baddie.
All right, with the T, I get it. Like a little bat, a little sugar bat. I
Sugar bat.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm just throwing money at like whatever I need to for, to make your mom stay.
Sure.
And ultimately that's what pissed her off.
That
Was
he knew that.
he knew that
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that he thought that that would be okay.
And
Right.
that number doubled from 100,000 to 200,000.
For the gas. For the gas.
For the gas.
Yeah, totally.
You know how it is.
So Bruce is ready to sort of throw 200,000 towards the whole situation, and that kind of pisses off Selina that he would do that. Like he knew the reason for doing that.
Yeah, I think she was also upset just thinking about the fact that her mother came back for Bruce.
Yes.
Like literally, it's been 11 years, and my mom would rather come con Bruce than
Yeah.
talk to me.
Right.
Like if she could have done it, like bypassing Selena altogether, she might
Sure.
have.
And
Right.
it totally lays the groundwork for their future relationship.
Yeah.
Where there's resentment there. There is sort of like, like why they're always going to be like on opposite sides in a way.
Bruce and Selina.
Bruce and Selena,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's like Selena's crutch this episode, but
Like
yeah.
he's not like full on brooding like Bruce. He's like, he's still innocent and stuff. And but Selena's only pushing him.
Right. But
Yeah,
even
yeah.
like
pushing him away.
Yeah, even though because he is so like he's too good and too pure for this
Yeah,
world.
yeah, he's
But
too
like,
pure.
and she can't handle that either
Right.
Yeah.
because of where she comes from and what she has to face. Like even when he's like lying to her, it's out of desire to
Yeah.
comfort her, to protect her, and that's still not something that she can accept because
Right.
And she even fights him, like literally physically fights him
that
on
was
it.
so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to foreshadow them fighting on rooftops and then
Yeah.
kissing and then fighting and
Yeah.
then kissing
Yeah.
and fighting for years to come. So that's kind of fun to watch.
Yay.
Yes, I'm excited and sad also. Also sad. My revelation said I called it about Selena's mom, but so did
We did. We
Sabina
all were
did
just
too.
like, it's pretty obvious that she's
Yeah.
gonna like skip down as soon as she gets the money.
Yeah.
I just remember like she just looks shady, man.
Yeah.
And I really wanted it to be a different outcome. I think someone
Sure.
else asked me or someone else in here said like they wanted it to be a stronger outcome.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Selina get one up on her mom.
Sure.
And like have told Bruce beforehand to like switch out the money or something. Because
Yeah.
like it was sort of like frustrating that everyone's sort of sad, right? Like,
But it also, you know, like goes and starts to kind of formulate her and who she is and sort of why she's like an anti-hero ultimately.
Yeah. Tatiana, I think you said at the end of the last episode, you're like, nothing good ever comes from a meeting set up in like a motel.
Yeah.
Like, this seems like it's going to be a landslide.
that's never a good idea. Yeah. And also when someone is like, don't come in here, that means they want you to come in there. You should not come in there if they say that because they want you there.
Yeah.
But do we have any other Bruce, Selina, Maria thoughts before we?
I'm going to tease.
Bye, Maria.
Yeah. We're going to do some discussion questions, some things that people posted in our groups and on Twitter a little bit later in this live
Are we?
recap. Or should we do it now? What do you think?
I mean, if you want to ask her question
Let's see. Alma Diaz, Alma48 on Twitter, said, hashtag Gotham AS for after show. Would you guys have reacted the same way Kat did? Do you guys think Kat is going to forgive Bruce? What do you think?
I think we kind of covered that with like this just sets up their back and forth.
I think
kissing on the
she
rooftops,
will
fighting on the
eventually
rooftops.
forgive Bruce this
Right.
season.
For this season,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you think it could happen as soon as like the next episode with what we saw in the promo?
Yeah, because Bruce is maybe going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she would save
Carnival
him.
setting.
Yeah. So I think that she wouldn't let anything happen to Bruce. So that would require a sort of forgiveness.
Another message from Alma was earlier, what do you guys think of Jerome coming back? We kind of covered that, but I don't know, in a couple more words, what do you think? Overall, what do you think of Jerome coming back?
I'm excited. I mean, I love the actor. His name's Cameron.
Yes, Cameron Monaghan.
Monaghan. He's so great. I love him in Shameless.
Yeah.
And to see him like, you know, kind of be in both and just how dynamic he is great. And I know there are moments where a lot of his lines were very Heath Ledger-like as an homage to The Dark Knight. There was still like him though. Like he has like a very charismatic, very funny take on the Joker that is so full of life. And before he actually took back his face from Dwight the Mortician, I was saying how like Dwight the Mortician is like the worst understudy. Like go away. He was so boring. And then Jerome was like, who is this guy? Like, what is he doing?
I love that because I always loved Cameron's work. I thought he did a great job, but it didn't really feel like a Joker-esque character just because it was like, oh, he's so young, like, and he's like not really an adversary for Bruce. Like this is,
Right.
But this episode, seeing that he had an understudy, like you said, and like he said, like a fanatic who wanted to emulate him, and then this group of people who are like following him, it really sort of lent a credence to what he had started.
Sure,
you know?
and then with that promo, we get to see him messing with Bruce right away next week. So
Yeah.
that's very, in a like carnival circus setting, so that was really cool.
I'm so excited for that.
That's gonna be great. And he had his little hat on. Oh, I love those circus
yes.
hats. Those are great. I had posted earlier in the Gotham Discussing the TV group, and I want to let people know watching at home right now online to check out the DC TV Universe Crew After Show. Stream TV on Facebook. Look for that group, the DC TV Universe Crew After Show, as well as the Gotham Discussing the TV Show. Those are two different groups you can join on Facebook. I had posted earlier, quick question from what we've seen in Jerome so far. Do you think he's making the Joker his own, the actor making it his own, or is he mimicking Jokers we've seen in the past? If so, which ones and why? And we just talked about that. Some comments in that thread from Ayamakan, I think is how you say the name, Ayamakan. He said, we haven't seen Joker in this world yet, so this is the first time we're seeing it. So thanks for pointing that out. And let's see. Salman Matthew Bortner said, there is more than one origin to the Joker in the multiverse. I think this is their version of that origin, and as a longtime Joker fan, I love it. So that's a really nice comment.
it is cool to add another origin story to the collection, right?
Yeah.
And I totally think he's starting to find himself. I mean, right now they're just establishing, you know, like, let's just do all these nods. And I really appreciated that they didn't really feel too shoehorned in.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were kind of natural. He made those nods his own.
Yeah.
And I think as the series goes on, we're going to see more of that evolution leading up to
And it's a testament to his performance, too.
Totally.
That he did it, that it didn't seem cheesy at all.
Yeah.
Side note, I'm kind of bummed out that he didn't end up being Pennywise in the It remake.
That actor looks very similar, though. You know, like the same age-ish, I feel like. Yeah. The commenter Salman, who I just quoted, his profile picture is him in Joker makeup. So shout out to Salman watching at home. And then I posted a Gotham City party I had in college where I was the Joker. So if you want to see me as the Joker, I kind of went for the '66 classic Joker. I found a woman's purple suit at a thrift store, and you can see that picture in the Gotham After Show group. And then Dave Kaufman had this comment. He said, "Little Bruce Wayne is going to be Ben Affleck, Batman, all grown up." So shout out to Dave. That was kind of just a random comment, but it does kind of fit into the world in some way.
Maybe it might prophesize into
that darker, grittier, pissed off Batman as an elderly
We've got
person.
one more storyline to discuss before we can leave this episode behind.
Yes.
And prepare for next week, and that is Babs and Tabs, right?
Yes.
Barbara and Tabitha getting one up on Penguin.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how much are you rooting for them, or how much do you hope that Penguin pulls through in the end, I guess?
I would say I hope Penguin pulls through. I like that he kind of goes along with things and then immediately is like, wait a minute, what is
He totally
what
was
is the
like,
scheme?
this is a scheme.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're turning
yeah.
everyone against me.
Yeah, and then the next second he's
call.
like, that's a scheme, not this one.
What is a scheme? And I feel like every minute he's looking for like a paperweight to murder someone with, like out of the corner of his eye.
And he's so distracted. I mean, next
Yeah.
week, as the episode ended with the blackout, he is going to have a lot to answer for as mayor.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Gotham being in the dark?
Well, I think it's gonna be a really like for free for all those purge fanatics. I'm
maniacs
concerned.
are gonna go nuts.
Yeah, obviously something bad's gonna happen.
Their makeup's going to get a lot crazier because they
Yeah.
can't see themselves, so
Right.
it's just going to be more all over the place.
But you know, like looting is a real issue, and like wind blackouts in the real world. You know,
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see how they tackle it because it's a real concern that happens to people. You know?
Definitely.
So probably one of the more like it's oddly, even though it has to do with bringing people back to life through Hugo Strange's stuff, is one of the more realistic arcs I think in Gotham. Just that it touches on concerns that we are having right now.
Yeah, you mean in terms of like rioters and looters?
Yeah,
and things like
rioters.
that?
Yeah, and then
that stuff's happening
just
every day?
and then
I think it just happens anytime there's like civil unrest. I mean, the Boston Tea Party was like some looting. That was quite a party.
Listen, if Trump comes out on the rubber ducky from Batman Returns, then I think we really have a problem.
Then we'll really know that we're in trouble. No, but I really, first off, I love that Babs sealed her promise to Tabitha with a kiss.
Yes.
And I love that Tabitha still has it out for Enigma. Because we still have to talk about that Enigma. I'm still mad at you.
Yeah.
He
really
was
behind the
being
scenes this
used.
episode.
I like Nigma. He was being used.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Even if Butch had really killed her, don't cut off Tabitha's hand.
miss
It's not
Enigma.
Tabitha's fault. I'm never over it. Anyway.
She got her hand back.
She got her hand back.
It's all good.
All's well
She was
that ends
using it a
well.
lot this episode.
Do you guys think we'll see more Enigma on screen next episode for this winter finale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to, right?
I miss
He
his
seemed
face.
absent this episode,
Yeah.
so that would be good.
We just heard his voice this time, right?
yeah.
I don't remember if we heard his voice
Well,
last
no, I don't think we did because all we heard was her being like Plan B.
I think I
true.
just made up his voice then.
That's how much his absence was
Yeah.
felt. We're just starting to hear it in our heads.
I feel like Riddler in the multiverse is just always somebody whose voice can really like be a character in an episode without him being physically present because he's always has so many things to quiz people on and set up for them from afar. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah.
And like you had mentioned before for the promo, I'm really excited for next week to see a Joker and Bruce showdown. Because he mentioned it this week. He's like, oh, well, did I get to kill Bruce Wayne before I died? I can't remember. So I just wonder how much of it will be a setup for Bruce versus how much is just like, oh, well, here's Bruce, and now it's time to fight you.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be 30 seconds where they are interacting based on that promo, but we'll hope for higher.
Let's see if we have
Totally.
anyone in the comments section that we want
let's
to
check it out.
respond
Any
to.
questions or comments?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, okay. So Lily Mitchelson is saying that she thinks that we can't underestimate Eddie, and that Enigma might actually be on Penguin's side and already be planning to double cross Barbara and Tabs. And I mean, that's possible because even though I love them and I want them to win, I think they'd be better rulers than Penguin and Enigma. But I do think that, like, obviously Penguin, like, we know Penguin from the comics, right? He is a towering figure, and Tabitha and Barbara not so much.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously he has to win eventually. But in the end, Edward and like Riddler and Penguin are on opposite sides,
Yeah.
you know, like from what we know, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think? Do you think that Nygma might actually be on Penguin's side, or have another plot
I
coming?
hope that they're not. I think that I mean, we left off with Penguin saying that like he's gonna go find his friend, and Nygma being looking forward to finally confronting Penguin.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know we're gonna get the Jerome and Bruce storyline, but I think we're also gonna see that fallout about him knowing that, you know, what happened and
Yeah.
that kid in the
I am
fan.
looking forward to like when it's like everyone else has fallen to the wayside and
Yeah.
it's just the two of them like battling
yeah.
it out, you know?
That's going to be fun to watch. Anthony Clayton Piacentini, maybe.
All right.
Posted in the Gotham After Show discussion group on Facebook, which you can join if you search Gotham Discussion After Show on Facebook. He said next week's going to be awesome. Jerome's kind of rocking the Killing Joke look next week
Oh, yeah.
with that hat, which is awesome. And of course, with the whole face cut off and stapled back thing, he looks like the Death in the Family Joker.
Yep.
Kind of sucks that it's the winter finale. The show just came back, and now we have to wait until probably March, which is true. But
Yeah.
get it while you can take it. I guess.
Right, exactly.
February is really short, guys.
No,
Yeah.
exactly, right? It's the shortest month of the year for a reason. So that we can get more Gotham soon.
And one more comment, Raghu, R-A-G-H-U,
All right.
Seetheraman, said tonight's episode of Gotham was a cross between The Dark Knight mainly, but the nice nod to Face Off was pretty great. Seeing Jerome back raise the stakes and seeing him introduce anarchy was straight out of The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And you see him upset the established order. Of course, he sounded a lot like Heath Ledger's Joker. Also love the Easter egg to Bob Kane. I missed that. What was the Easter egg to Bob Kane?
I missed that too. Bob Kane.
I gotta look that one up.
And
But thank
Bill
you guys so
Finger.
much for those comments, and
Yeah.
keep them coming in the Gotham After Show discussion group
Yeah.
on Facebook. Also join the DC TV Universe crew after show at stream.tv on Facebook, and you can see all the different shows that we host.
Yeah,
on
we'll have a link in the
stream.tv.
comments below, or in the little description for YouTube. And also, don't forget if you have any other questions you want to ask us
Yeah.
on the show, you can always use the hashtag GothamAS on Twitter. All right, guys, have a lovely night, and make sure to smile like you mean it.
See you next time.
See you next time.